Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and in this video we're going to be talking to you about will they treat the next person better?
This is something that comes up a lot.
Yeah, when we care about somebody so much and we value them so much, the last thing we want to think or feel is like some new stranger is going to come into their life and they're going to get treated better than you are.
Right? Or that this next person is going to get all the things that you didn't get to have in the partnership.
Yeah, and it's so tough to think about because we want to feel like, we've been in their life and we're meaningful, and that some new person that they don't really know isn't going to get treated better. But, unfortunately, in the beginning, that new person does tend to get treated better, at least the initial few months.
Right. And so we're going to talk about just this thought, this concept, because it is complicated, right? Anybody can charm anyone. Some people are extraordinary at charming somebody, leaving a really good first impression. We're going to talk about some patterns, how this affects relationships in the long run, just some other things for you to think about.
Absolutely. But rest assured, let's just say from the get-go, people can charm in the beginning, but usually for about 3 to 5 months. After that, you start to see who people really are. Now, of course, there are going to be outliers to that situation. Some people can hide things for years. Some people can live double lives for years. But for the most part, people are going to be on their best behavior for about 3 to 5 months.
Right. I want to start by saying the fact that you're even asking this question, it highlights how some of your needs haven't been met in the relationship. You're thinking, is somebody else going to get the benefits that you never got? And if you think about it, you're almost preemptively jealous of the next person that your ex dates. You're jealous of what they're going to get that you didn't have a chance to get those things, especially if you're somebody who really invests in a relationship, and maybe you might be one of those people who wants to fix a partner. You might be thinking, oh man, I poured so much into this. I made that person a better person for somebody else. And so it can get really complicated.
And discouraging.
Yeah. You start to feel like all of your efforts were lost there.
Yeah.
We do want to be realistic about patterns and patterns of behavior. We're talking about the first couple months in a relationship. Somebody can act very different than how their attachment style manifests and shows up.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you doubt that, think about any of the other people you dated, not just this particular ex, but think about how different they were in the beginning and how as time goes, attachment issues come up, mental health issues come up, and they start to slowly become a different person. In a weird way, it's kind of like they have this fantasy idea of you, and we do it too, so don't think that you're not doing it too, that you have this fantasy idea of who this person is going to be, and all these unmet needs are kind of projected onto strangers. So that's initially what's going to be happening with your ex, projecting onto this new fantasy, these rebounds that we see a lot. But transitioning to long term, it would have to mean that both people are healthier than kind of you and your partner were.
Right. And we know that real change takes time. Nobody can fix or improve their attachment style overnight, right? This is slow little efforts that end up making a really big effort. And, you might think, oh, they're going to show up for this person in a really nice way. And your ex might be viewing a new relationship as a blank slate. Oh, I get to start new. There's not going to be all those old issues from the past relationship.
Yep.
But it's almost always a dynamic. So whatever they don't fix ends up repeating in their own relationships, those patterns. And we know that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So if they have a pattern of sabotaging relationships, if they have a pattern of shutting down and stonewalling their partner, if they have a pattern of being super controlling and nosy and forceful in their relationships, those things are more likely to repeat.
Yeah, they are. And so you can be rest assured that they're not going to magically become a different person. Your ex is not going to magically going to be some new person in the long run. In the beginning, they may try and step up the charm for the new person, and the new person may try and charm them. But it doesn't last Okay, it's not one of those things that you magically change and all of a sudden you're a completely different person for a new relationship. So calm down, relax, take a deep breath. We tend to catastrophize. We tend to blow things out of proportion. And, just because your ex was able to get into another new relationship, it doesn't automatically mean that they're treating that new person better.
Right.
Okay? It can look like that, but you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's happening in their text messages, or they're arguing, and sometimes you hear, well, they're already having problems with the new person, and they tell the dumpee that they're having problems with the new person. Well, why is that? Well, maybe the new person that they're dating has a lot of issues, or maybe they're continuing their issues that they had with you with the new person they're dating.
Right. And sometimes social media can really, lead you astray. You see that your ex is super happy with whoever they're with, and you automatically assume, well, they must be having a great time. We don't know the inner workings, like you had said.
Yep.
And we know that real relationships take work. It does take work. Now, it's not supposed to feel treacherous every single day, but you are going to be triggered in your relationship. I always go back to that Margaret quote, which is probably one of my favorite things that she's ever said, but she had said, you don't know what your issues are until somebody tries to love you. And so, until the point that your ex partner is attached to somebody else, they're not going to be triggered in a way to where their issues will show up, most likely.
Yep.
Breakups also give us the sense that we missed out on a partner, missed out on that future potential, maybe even things that they had promised us. Maybe somebody was on the verge of a lot of success, or maybe somebody was on the verge of, going to therapy or working on their emotional health or working on relationship skills. And so when somebody breaks up with us, we're thinking, oh my gosh, I missed out on this future that, I had invested in and was looking forward to and was hopeful in with this partner. And looking at it this way, I can understand this point of view because we want to complete the story. We want to follow somebody through, the hard times and be able to enjoy the good times with them too. I think this is a big reason why the whole Conor McGregor story is really popular, where he had a partner who was with him through the really hard times and was able to stick with him throughout his success. We all love a story like that. But we have to see things for what they are. Like I had said earlier, if you're asking yourself this question, is somebody else going to be treated better? Then you're probably lacking something in the relationship to begin with. And this can actually be used as a manipulation tactic by some, this future faking.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have such a great life ahead of us. This is why you should stick with it. And sometimes some of you watching this video might be using this tactic. Oh, but we were so close. We were so close to making it.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to view things as they are in real time and say, was he treating me better? Or she? Or they? Were they treating me better? What did I receive in this relationship? Was this something that was sustainable? Was this something that was healthy?
Yeah.
And the bottom line is they might have not treated you well. They might have not met your needs. And that's what happened. So that's what's important.
That's a very good point. And you also have to consider that the next person that you date could treat you better than your ex did. And that you may find somebody who values you and what you're bringing to the table more so than they did, because many of you were neglected as well. Like I said, every situation is different and every breakup is different. So there are many of you out there that were not being treated well by your partner. And so you're kind of afraid that they're going to treat somebody like you deserve to be treated in the relationship. And that would be something to be angry about. It would be healthy to be angry that somebody mistreated you, but then is going to treat a stranger better. And you have to consider if you really want to be with somebody who is going to take you for granted and treat strangers better because they're projecting onto some new person that they don't even know.
Right. So this question, it's really complicated. And, our hope for you is that you can get to a place where you would be able to accept whatever outcome is next, right? We don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be the outcome one that we can accept and come to terms with.
Yep.
And if you think about it throughout your life and in your past relationships with anybody, platonic, romantic, familial, there's going to be times where you treat people well. There's going to be times where, you don't show up as your full self 100% pouring into the relationship. There's going to be times where we mistreat people because we're human, right? And so we have to have some flexibility and understanding. Yes, it's possible that your ex does treat somebody else next better. What does that mean for you in your life? We hope that you're able to focus on yourself, focus on how you are being treated in that moment with the person that you're with.
It's tough.
It's tough.
And there's a lot of different ways to look at it and think about it. But ultimately, if you're afraid that your ex is going to magically become a different person and consistently stay that way for somebody new, it's not likely going to happen.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Yes. But patterns of behavior, okay? And so they're probably going to initially treat them better and then revert back to their old ways and taking people for granted or losing emotional self-control, lashing out. Maybe they were neglectful. All of those things are likely going to come up again.
Right.
Okay. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on our website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.